Yeah, we can record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A very warm good afternoon to each one of you. I hope you and your families are staying safe and healthy. Thank you for joining us today for the Nissan Leaf Tech Talk at this World EV Day. It's a proud moment for all of us at Nissan as we present this remarkable offering, the all-new Nissan second generation Leaf EV in South Asia from Nepal to Bhutan and Sri Lanka, as Nissan takes pride in being an EV pioneer. Let me introduce the key persons attending today from Nissan across the world and our NSC in Nepal and Sri Lanka. From Nissan, we have Simon Fraser, our engineering project manager from Nissan Motor UK, who is responsible for the Nissan Leaf and Micra in the AMEO region. It is Africa, Middle East, Europe, and Oceania. With almost 2 decades of product development and engineering experience in Nissan Technical Center Europe, Simon is a key figure in the development of the current Leaf and the future models for the AMEO region. From our NSC, we have Mr. Sandeep Kumar Sharda, the Managing Director of Pioneer Motor Corp Limited, the Nissan and Datsun distributor in Nepal from 2017 onwards, and Peter McKenzie, Managing Director, AMW Group Sri Lanka, the Nissan distributor in Sri Lanka from almost 1987. Sandeep San is also the director at Sharda Group, a family-owned conglomerate which consists of over 60 different companies ranging from trading to manufacturing and has a contribution of 2 to 3% in the GDP of Nepal. It's part of various forms like National Council member, the member of Nepal Automotive Dealer Associations, and so on. Peter San has, with over 3 decades of automotive experience, has spent more senior management positions in several leading organizations, including Daimler, Harley-Davidson in Australia, Singapore, and China, before joining as the managing director of Nissan distributor in Sri Lanka, the AMW Group. I welcome all 3 of you to the Tech Talk. Thank you so much, Simon. I know it's early in the morning in UK. Nissan today, on eve of World EV Day, is delivering the excitement and benefits of electrified vehicles that are tailored to our customers' broad range of lifestyles and needs as we journey together towards a more connected, sustainable, and resilient world. It's bringing together Nissan's latest advancement in intelligent power, intelligent driving, and intelligent integration for South Asia from Nepal to Sri Lanka. Our mission is to deliver the right mobility solution for as many people as possible. We are committed to providing drivers the world over with option that suits their individual needs, from a smarter, safer, cleaner, and more enjoyable driving experience. Pioneer in driving innovation while supporting the sustainability agenda. With a strong product lineup that's seen in your screen for the South Asia market, the launch of Nissan Leaf in South Asia comes at an era when the world is shifting to EV. Nissan Leaf brings to you a lot of electric vehicle benefits like quick and smooth drive, zero emission, one of the quietest cabin, high mileage per charge, at a very low running cost compared to the ICE engine by close to 5 times. If we create a history of mobility, it will be written in 2 phases, before and after EVs. While our generation has seen EV transition from concept vehicles to popular transport option. Not many know that one of the first viable EV date back to 1947. Quick video on what the heritage of Nissan is on the EV. Reaching a cruising range of over 96 km on a single charge, the Tama enabled post-war Japan to circumvent its oil deficit. Since the launch of Leaf in 2010, vehicles have driven more than, Nissan Leaf has driven more than 2.5 billion cumulative kilometers.
これまでにない新しい運転感覚です。新型日産リーフは日産インテリジェントモビリティの象徴です。
Since the launch of Leaf in 2010, we have driven more than 2.5 million, the resulting reduction in CO2 emissions. The distance travel provides Nissan with a valuable real-world usage data. It's almost like reducing 1.2 million tons of CO2 saving close to 90 million trees. Let me show you a quick video on what Nissan Leaf, the second generation Nissan Leaf, is all about. Thank you. Now let me welcome my colleague Simon Fraser from Nissan Motor UK to take you through what at Nissan we strive to stay a step ahead, providing the right mobility solution with right technology with the best performance and zero emission. Over to you, Simon.
Okay, thank you very much, Raghu. Can I check you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much, and apologies to all for the small technical troubles we're having. Anyway, firstly, let me thank you, Raghu, for inviting me here today on World EV Day to let me explain a little bit about a car that I am very proud. For many years as the project manager of Nissan, I've managed to have the opportunity to support the development of the second generation Leaf. And it's been a very proud contribution that I've been able to make. And also, I'm very proud to be a Leaf driver myself today. For me and my family, it's quickly become a car of choice. Coming from traditional combustion engines, we now quickly and happily embrace EV ownership and the pleasures it brings to us. So I'm delighted to have any opportunity to share this great experience and share about our Nissan Leaf product and technology. If we could go to the next slide, please. What I'd like to do today is give you a small insight to some of the design and the technology that we have in this product. And first, let me, of course, start by touching upon the unmistakable design of this car. I'm sure, as you can see, starting from the front, we have managed to secure a contemporary and timeless design. The sleek design, starting with the two-tone body and its iconic floating roof, gives the car a very clear image and recognition. And supported by the blue accents and the V-Motion grille, it is unmistakably a Nissan product. Next slide, please. As we move towards the rear, you can see we continue to maintain this futuristic design and with subtle but important use of aerodynamic features, which are very important to make sure that the vehicle remains energy efficient. But there are some features that you can obviously see, such as the rear spoiler or the rear aerodynamic rear diffuser. There are many small details by design that maybe you do not see, but we spent a long time to implement in the quest to improve the aerodynamic performance and reduce the wind noise. These are just two areas where we sought to achieve a high level of performance with a near silent electric powertrain. We had to make these extra efforts to ensure that the entire quality of the customer experience. Next slide, please. As we move towards the inside, Leaf manages to maintain its modern yet very functional interior that we're very proud of in delivering our Nissan vehicles. We've implemented lots of modern technologies, but not overlooked the fundamentals, of course, to be comfortable, spacious, and have sufficient luggage room. And we've managed that with packaging of the batteries in the floor of the vehicle between the wheelbase to not compromise the luggage area. So as the very fundamental of the engineering, we believe we've got the car right from the battery packaging. But then one small area we can look at in the interior is the driver display. This is another signature part of Leaf. With its new electric powertrain, it's very important that we clearly and confidently give the information to the driver via the analog dial, which is traditionally understood and recognized, but in the case of Leaf, second generation, coupled with this 7-inch TFT color display. And at the touch of a button on the steering wheel, the driver is able to customize this display to make sure the driver is easily given the information that they need as necessary when driving the vehicle. Excuse me. The screen also supports helpful information related to audio and hands-free phone functions. So it's a very valuable and important part of the driving experience. Next slide, please. So I've introduced the design. Let me now turn to the performance, some of the performance interesting parts of the vehicle. In Nissan, it's our commitment to make a more sustainable future. And in engineering, it is our quest to deliver the technology with the best performance and zero emissions. We aspire to create excitement for the drivers in the way that we do this and to make them feel confident with the product and the use of our intelligent technologies. I'd like to explain about a few of these in more detail. Next slide, please. Please excuse me for using a small story that I often use when I am explaining Leaf to someone with no experience, whether this be friends or family or acquaintances. I always start with 3 fundamentals. Whilst the acceleration figures are impressive, in under 8 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, the actual feeling of instantaneous torque is amazing. You will get addicted. You will not want to go back to combustion engines, I guarantee. The second point I mentioned is the handling. Whilst the overall weight of the vehicle, of course, is increased with the addition of the batteries, the careful layout of their position, as I mentioned, between the wheels and low down in the vehicle ensures that the driving feeling is not compromised. It still delivers a secure and stable feeling due to that low center of gravity. And thirdly, the point I always impress is what I consider as the surprise and delight, the quietness. With the near silent powertrain and great attention to detail, as I mentioned, on wind noise and road noise reduction, you're cocooned in a very pleasing environment. Conversations between passengers are more easily had. And as I mentioned, this is something that maybe first owners that I've spoken to never expected, but are delighted with this experience. Next slide, please. All of these attributes are really possible thanks to a great 100% electric powertrain. Power and torque figures are of course impressive, with 100 kilowatts of power and 310 Newton meters of torque. But as I mentioned, the feeling of this, the feelings are more impressive than the figures alone. And with a 40 kilowatt hour battery, we also provide the range in excess more than 250 kilometers, which for many of the 500,000 customers that have purchased Leaf, it is more than enough to meet their needs. Next slide, please. As Raghu mentioned in the introduction, this is our second generation Leaf. We pioneered with the first, and now we build on the platform of the second. With significant power and torque improvements as one of our main focus points, we could build on that really special EV performance feeling, which gives people what I like to call the EV smile. As illustrated here, we can improve on the acceleration feeling right from the very first moment and sustain the stronger performance, better than a traditional hybrid vehicle and better than the first generation Leaf. So we could go even further with the second generation. It's an important performance improvement that we've made, and one which I can see and hear regularly back from customers that they really appreciate. So we're delighted to have delivered that in the second generation Leaf. Next slide, please. Another exciting part of this 100% electric powertrain is our drive mode selector. Taking full advantage of the advanced powertrain system that we have in Leaf, we're able to give flexibility to the driver to adjust the performance of their preferences, because no two drivers want the same. We want to give them some opportunity to customize their experience. And by adjusting the levels of regenerative braking and or reducing the energy intensive devices in the vehicle, the driver can customize it to their preference. So utilizing the eco mode and our B mode, we can, whether independently or in combination, we can help the driver to maximize the available driving range. And of course, this reduces brake pad wear. Next slide, please. So if we move on to a little bit about technology, please. I'm delighted to explain to you one of my favorite pieces of technology on the car. From the very first time I was able to drive the second generation Leaf until this morning, it is still my favorite piece of technology, EPedal. Again, using the opportunities created by this 100% electric powertrain, our engineering team spent a long time perfecting this simple to use feature, and it enables the driver to accelerate, decelerate, and come to a complete stop with one pedal, one movement. The experience is amazing. Trust me, I drive EPedal all the time. Next slide, please. In my case, for more than 95% of my driving journey time, there is no need to touch the brake pedal, since the regenerative and mechanical braking, which is provided just by lifting off the accelerator pedal, it is sufficient to slow the car and stop the car in the regular driving scene. You just press the accelerator to go faster and release the pressure on the pedal to go slower. It's that easy. But we have beautifully tuned the balance between the regenerative braking and the mechanical braking to ensure maximum potential for recharging, to give the energy back to the battery as much as possible in the deceleration. And then also when coming to a complete stop, the delicate control, the fine tuning that we made for the mechanical braking is there. So you have a gentle stop, very smooth and very comfortable. And of course, let me finish by saying the brake pedal is still there. We did not remove the brake pedal. This is something some people get concerned about and they think there is no brake pedal. There is still the brake pedal. So on the occasions when you need more force than the vehicle is providing you by its regenerative and mechanical braking, you can apply the brake for the additional brake force on the occasions this is required. But when I'm driving in traffic, whether this has the frequent starting and stopping, accelerating and decelerating, it is much more relaxing to do this with one pedal. And very easily in traffic, I can change my speed and follow traffic with ease and comfort. But then also when I am fortunate enough not to be in traffic and I am able to drive on some of the wonderful winding and country roads that we have in the UK and in Europe, it is fantastic to use EPedal to easily increase and decrease the speed as desired, all done with one pedal, easily, enjoyably. Next slide, please. And to wrap up today, I just want to touch upon one important point, which is safety. Next slide, please. So it is human nature to have a fear of new technology. In engineering, we know this, but in engineering at Nissan, we also do all that we can do to give our drivers confidence in their products. In terms of the battery, we have a good reason to be confident. As you've heard, we have over 500,000 vehicles in the market and not one serious battery failure. So I believe this is an impressive and important mark of the engineering quality we're able to put into our product and an example of the excellent product that we have developed in the second generation Leaf. Okay, I tried to give you a quick overview of the technology and happy to hand back to Raghu to wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Simon, for taking your time so early in the morning at UK.
No problem.
And from our journalist in South Asia, the wonderful second generation Leaf that we will be experiencing starting from Nepal to Bhutan and then Sri Lanka. We are proud to say, as Simon mentioned, that the Leaf has 0 serious battery failures since the start of production. And it has won over 50 plus global awards and achievements in IFRE from 2010 to 2021. Aside from the benefits of an electrified future, the all-new second generation Nissan Leaf highlight the excitement that driving an EV can bring in. Just to recap, Leaf comes in 6 different colors. The Nissan Leaf is so much more than just an EV. It's our vision to move people to a better world. The zero emission EV is an embodiment of Nissan intelligent mobility and comes with a 3-year vehicle warranty for the first 100,000 kilometer, with an 8-year battery warranty or for the first 160,000 kilometer. Now we are open to question and answer. You can put in your questions in the chat box, and we will be able to, me and Simon or Sandeep San and Peter from Nepal and Sri Lanka can answer your questions accordingly. Thank you so much for attending this Tech Talk in full house. If you have any questions, please, you'll be up.
Good afternoon, everybody. There's a question from Nepal Drives. Raghusan, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
There's a question for someone who's transitioning from an ICE vehicle to an EV. What are the important points to consider while making the switch? And what would you say to anyone interested in purchasing the Nissan Leaf?
Since it's more of a technical question, can I
No
leave
problem.
it to start for the
I'm happy to take that, and maybe I can give you my personal experience, because 10 years ago, when we first launched Leaf, I have to say I was dubious. I was trying to understand, does Nissan's strong commitment for more than 10 years before this, when we started to develop and engineer our vehicles and technology, I considered, is there really a place for EV in the future? And I was lucky enough before we started selling first generation Leaf to get the chance to drive for 1 week to take the Leaf for myself and for my family. And I have to say, on the first day, it was quite an unusual experience, having to charge your car, and the fear of range and wondering if the car would run out of battery was something quite new. But over just 1 or 2 or 3 days, I quickly removed this fear and understood that actually, for my journeys and for my lifestyle, this was an adequate vehicle. Yeah, there was no negative. It could easily exchange for the combustion engine vehicle that I was having before. And then before the end of the week, I started to appreciate some of the benefits that I had not appreciated would exist, from the comfort, the pleasurable, quiet driving. And 10 years ago, kind of, dare I say, the smug, the satisfaction or the intrigue of being able to show my friends or family or neighbors that I am piloting and driving something quite new, something really interesting, which is the future of automotive industry. And then, as I said, for a few years now, I have been Leaf owner, and myself and my wife every day are driving Leaf. And I never hear my wife, or I never complain myself, that there is some problem with the car. Of course, we have to be careful, and when we are talking to customers, when they are considering the product of choice, we need to make sure that the real range that they are driving is manageable by Leaf. But now I talk to many people who have the Leaf, and they have no anxiety about range, because the 250 kilometers or more is completely within their need, and they can drive every day, and they can charge every night or every week, whatever is needed. So I would always really suggest, and as Raghu said at the beginning, there is maybe 2 important parts that make Leaf distinguishable. One is cost of ownership, because we know, even I think, as you mentioned, Raghu, in Nepal and other countries, there is a multiple benefit, 5 times, I think you said, Raghu, for the cost. And similarly in the UK, we can see significant cost benefits can come from using electricity as the power source. So if you have an economic mind, it is a very sensible choice that can be made. And of course, the second is important for many people as well, is the ecological side, the pride or the ability to drive a zero emission, a tailpipe emission in areas. So when my wife is taking my daughter to school every day and she is driving her Leaf, she feels very proud that she is driving her daughter to school in a vehicle emitting no tailpipe emission. And this is a very, very important thing for her as well. So I think we need to recognize we have 2 valuable points to our customers. Raghu, back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Simon.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Simon-san. The next question is from Jagat. He's from Sri Lanka, and they are asking if the Nissan Leaf with the 110 kW power, is it now available in Sri Lanka?
For that, you'll have to contact the Nissan NSE in Sri Lanka. But from a Nissan perspective, we conduct various amount of research and studies in order to understand the feasibility in introducing a particular product, whether it is for 110 watt or the various grades that we have. So we'll have to check with the Nissan NSC in it. Maybe I can leave it to Peter or Johan, who is attending us, to explain it further.
Thank you, Ragus. Interesting question, and I believe that the future of electric mobility in Sri Lanka will be very promising. We unfortunately at the moment are experiencing what I would call the perfect storm. We have a foreign reserve issue, which has put the government in a position that they have banned new and used vehicle importations at this point in time. So with that, we are unable to acquire new product. We do eagerly await for that ban to be lifted to allow us to engage with our customers again to deliver, these amazing products such as the Leaf. And when those regulations do lift, we believe there will be more of a significant shift towards EV and EV solutions for the automobile sector here within Sri Lanka. Whilst we have no concrete evidence of that, at this stage, it's just our opinion when those regulations do lift that there will be a sway towards EV. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to being able to service the Nissan customers with this kind of product in the future.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thanks a lot. Raghu-san, the next question I think is for you. This is a question from Ekraj from Nepal Auto, and he asks that Nissan Leaf is a pioneer in electric vehicles. There are many brands of electric vehicle brands in Nepal, but the Nissan Leaf is has just joined in the process. Why so late is the question.
Thank you, Nissan. Nissan Leaf, we have been working with the Pioneer Motors, the Nissan sole distributor in Nepal, for over 1 year to bring this beautiful product. I think there were some issues on the duty and things like that. So now it is more favorable for us to have launched the EVs at a very competitive pricing. And I would request Sandeep-san to add anything further on that particular question.
Raghu-san, Sandeep-san is not able to answer right now. May I?
Yes, of course, Dhiren. Sure. Yes, please.
Actually, like Raghu-san rightly said, there were some issues on the duty structure, and everybody in Nepal knows that in the end of May, there was a very favorable outcome, and the duty was revised, and so electric vehicles are very, very, you can say, accessible now in terms of price. At the same time, Nissan is very, very particular about the quality and the background before the launch of the car. So we had an intense procedure to follow, right from the charger, right from the readiness of our team and our network, everything. So that took a while for us to finish. In fact, we just got the authority to retail the vehicles just yesterday. Raghu-san is aware. And friends, please note that Nissan is very particular about any launch. So that took some time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhiren, for that explanation. And I think we have a very wonderful launch price at Nepal. And the test drives and things will happen from tomorrow onwards. So I think, Ekraj, you should contact Dhiren and the Nissan NSC, the national sales company, for a test drive of this vehicle.
Right. Thank you so much, Raghu-san. Thank you, Dhiren-san, once again for your answers. There is one, just the response from Nissan Drives. Raghu-san, this question is for you. One, they're thanking Simon-san for putting this out, the responses brilliantly. They are curious to know there is a cost difference between the Leaf and other EVs in the Nepalese market. What is the admittance to the pricing? Who do you think stands closest in terms of competition, in competition terms to the Leaf?
I would not compare any other particular model with our Nissan, the second generation Leaf, as a direct competition, but you need to experience the Nissan Leaf, so that you will understand who is the next competitor and how best is the Nissan Leaf compared to the other competition. As Simon was mentioning, we were a pioneer and started from, say, on the electric vehicles from 1947 onwards with that experience, and a mass product like Nissan Leaf as an EV from 2010. The experience that you get inside and the safety that you get inside is quite different from any other product that you have. And so I would leave it that way.
Right.
Preparing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Raghu-san. Another question from a gentleman called Mr. Bhushan, and this is about how much does the replacement battery for a Nissan Leaf cost? This is by Auto Nepal.
It's, as I mentioned in my, thank you, Vanisan. As I mentioned in my presentation, it comes with a 8 years, 160,000 kilometer warranty. So that should cover a good amount of concern regarding the replacement of battery. Simon, would you want to add anything further on the battery aspect of it from a technical point of view?
Yeah, I think certainly one of the, as I mentioned when we talked about safety, that customers always have a fear of something new. So I get many questions even from my 4-year-old daughter who said to me, "But Daddy, surely the batteries will run out on the car." So there's a lot of education and a lot of knowledge, but I think the actual cost, we're very direct about the cost for the battery. Of course, it's an expensive part of the car, and I think I cannot answer that from an engineering side because market by market there is a different economic plan. But I think the most important thing is not to be fearful or anxious. Yes, it is an expensive part of the vehicle, but it is something that we have huge confidence in, its reliability, its durability, and as Raghu said, covered by its warranty. And certainly I can say from, let's say, my knowledge and experience of working on global engineering for this product, not just for your individual markets, but we are making a huge effort inside Nissan to make sure that these vehicles have the battery has value even at the end of life of the vehicle. So globally, there are many initiatives that Nissan is making where we plan to utilize the valuable asset that the car has in its battery, even when the vehicle has finished its life. We are so confident with the battery. And we have many partnerships and many opportunities that we're exploring around Japan, America, Europe, Asia. So I think for me, that's the confidence I have, that the customers should have the confidence with the battery.
Thank you so much, Simon. That's one major initiative that we take it as CSR, where we have lit a lot of villages once the life cycle of the car comes in and we use the battery. So that's the kind of comfort or guaranteed warranty that we give from a Nissan point of view of the product. Thank you, Simon, for that.
Thank you, Simon-san. Thank you, Raghu-san. I have 2 more questions. One is again from Nissan Drives, and this says one of the biggest USPs, this is for Simon-san, one of the biggest USPs of the Leaf is its ability to V2G, which is vehicle to grid, to send onboard charge back into the grid. Can you explain how Nepalese customers can leverage this in a more effective way?
Okay, so maybe at first I can comment that for
Yes.
many years I was working from early stage with our research teams how to make vehicle to grid a reality. Yeah, more than a decade ago we had the vision that let's say one of the keys to make the success of an electric vehicle in an ecosystem, when we projected in the many years to come that we would have a, let's say, higher demand on electricity. One of the answers was to make sure that we could make the vehicle a capacitor, so a battery on the national grid. And this was one of the kind of compelling reasons that we investigated and looked at vehicle to grid, meaning that the customer's car, whether plugged in at work or at home, but when the vehicle is not being used, it still has some asset and value to society and to your infrastructure. And we certainly have spent years working with energy companies in Europe, where I've been working very closely with these organizations to make sure that we have the capable product, which is certified to an awful lot of their regulation, because of course you do not easily put electricity into the national electricity supply. And so that's a very long process. So I'm not particularly aware of the specifics. I'm not sure if Raghu or one of our team can pick up on in Nepal of what is the specific preparation. But from vehicle side, I can say we are ready. The vehicle is achieving, certainly from my experience in Europe, all of the standards that are required for the different countries to make Leaf in Europe the only car today that can charge to the grid as a, let's say, USP and sales advantage. But for the Nepalese market, Raghu, do you have some image?
The options or the feature, the options, the technology that is available with Nissan, as you said, Simon, we will be made available through the Nissan NSE. So we can work on that, and so the interested customers can get in touch with the NSE, and then we'll see how best we can do after complying all the regulations and things like that.
Thank you very much, Raghu-san. Thank you, Simon-san. The next question is from a gentleman called Ujjwal, and he's from Mero Auto. As an EV driver, I am facing road conditions that is not as per standard even in the city area. What is the actual ground clearance with 4 people riding, and what real life range could we get in the terrain like Nepal?
Okay, so from product side, I cannot remember the exact number. We have trust me, from a global point of view, we have a number of variations and tuning, so I can check and get back to you guys with what's the exact ground clearance. But for confidence, what I can say is, whichever country we're selling our products to, one of the fundamentals of the Nissan engineering job is to understand the markets. For our market engineers to analyze and understand the market, and particularly one of the things that we look at is road durability or road severity. These are the two kind of catch phrases that we use. And of course, in Europe, we have Russia as one of our very extreme markets that we have to follow. But globally, we know there are many markets like Nepal where the road condition is not beautiful, not like the flat table. Yeah. So we know, and we make efforts to make sure that the vehicle is has sufficient ground clearance, and certainly with this 40 kilowatt-hour battery, we have a good performance of ground clearance. And to my knowledge, in the countries we don't have the concern. But of course, we do advise our NSEs and the dealers to be very aware in their area if there are any particular road conditions, to make customers fully aware. So one thing we do encourage through our sales and marketing organization is please and make sure that the customer is informed and understands what is the vehicle's performance and make sure it is right for them. The last thing we want to do is for the customer to take the car, but their particular journey or their particular use of the vehicle creates some difficulty for them. So I think the quality of customer sales in that sense is really important. So every dealer which is selling it should have a very strong knowledge of the road condition and the performance of the vehicle in their area.
Thank you, Simon-san. The next question, if you can give any insight as to how insurance companies globally are looking at electric vehicles, more expensive or cheaper or similar to insure as per the regular vehicles.
Simon, will you be able to, as a Nissan owner, will you be able to highlight? Otherwise, we can get back to them with a detailed answer later.
I think I have some image of what is the situation in Europe, but maybe in Nepal and Southeast Asia, the situation is slightly different. As a general comment, I can say 10 years ago when we introduced Leaf, insurance companies were very scared because we were the pioneer. We were first. We wanted to introduce something they didn't understand. And 10 years ago, I spent a lot of time making presentations like today to insurance companies. So they understood what we were delivering, because they could not look into the car park and find a car like this. So when we pioneered, we had to make so much effort. But certainly in Europe, I can say now, there are many competitors, as some of your questions have pointed. So actually, these kind of challenges and understanding, the insurance companies now much more clearly understand the vehicle and the cost risk of cost repair. And they have much more information and much more knowledge. So I don't see myself any particular concern at the minute compared to combustion engine vehicles. They are quite equivalent in Europe.
Thank you, Simon-san. The last question for today, this is from Pranish from Tech Lake. And his ask is basically, I think this question is for you, Raghu-san, where he's asking about thoughts on setting up Nissan EV charging stations in Nepal?
Yes, what I understand from Sandeep San and the discussion that we are having with the government officials in Nepal, there's a lot more public charging stations that will be available in another few months, where we will also have the Nissan Leaf related charging stations also. In addition, we also have the charging station at our showroom and at the service center. Plus, we will also be providing the same for the customers based on their requirement. Dhiren, if you would like to answer further from what I said, especially from a Nepal perspective.
Thank you, Raghu-san. Currently, we have started in Kathmandu because our sales is initiated from Kathmandu, but we are in the process of implementing charging stations in all our dealerships across Nepal. So in a couple of months, we will be having charging stations in our dealerships, probably in around 13 or 14 locations. And like Raghu-san rightly said, the Nepal Electricity Authority is also having their charging stations implemented, starting from 50 places initially, and they are taking up from there. And we have also been talking to them to include the Nissan charging facilities in their future plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhiren-san. Do we have a little more time to take a few questions, Raghu-san, or can we close for the day? It was the last question.
Can take the last two questions.
Right. Thank you very much, Raghu-san. The next question is there any no plan to add a sunroof on the Nissan Leaf? This is from Highway Autoville.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for the question. The simple answer is no. But to give you some reason why, for me, there is two important points of this car. One is weight. Because of the efficiency of the EV powertrain, and we need to maintain the good range, it's very important that we keep a control on the total weight of the car, and adding the sunroof will add some weight. And it's weight at the top of the vehicle. It is very high in the center of gravity. So again, it would contribute to reducing its dynamic performance, which we pride so much. And the second, of course, is purely from maybe from an engineering layout point of view. When we add the sunroof, we add some increasing section to the vehicle above the driver's head. This means we either need to reduce the interior space, which we don't want. We want to maintain this very good interior space and feeling, or we have to increase the height of the car in concept. And we don't want to do that because it affects aerodynamics. So there's good reasons why the car today does not have sunroof. It's a compromise that we decided to make, and that is the way the vehicle will stay.
Thank you very much, Simon-san. That was very clear, abundantly so. And moving on to the last question I have, which is from Nepal Drives. Where do you see Nissan's place within the Nepalese EV ecosystem in the next 2 to 3 years? What realistic sales numbers are you looking at?
We are very confident. Thank you, Nissan. We are very confident with the Nissan Leaf in Nepal. There's a quite considerable amount of bookings that we have received, and we're getting a good number of vehicles already there in Nepal and in the coming months. Apart, like how we have reached a particular position after the last Nissan Magnite launch, we are almost like made our presence in the market. And it is the same way that we consider every product that we launch in the market. And that's something which we will look forward for Nissan Leaf also. With the years of experience in the electric vehicles, we will definitely play a primary role in the EV ecosystem for the next 2-3 years in Nepal. Nepal and also in the South Asia, Sri Lanka and Bhutan.
Thank you very much, Raghu-san. I'd like to thank both of you once again, and thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. And thank you very much for all the audiences as well joining us across the world. We will be back soon with lots more news sometime in the future. And thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being a wonderful audience with a fantastic set of questions as well. Thanks.
Thank you for the questions.
Thank you so much for the questions and participation. Thank you so much, Simon. It's been be a long day for you. Thank you so much for being part of the South Asia EV world.
No problem. I welcome the opportunity. So thank you for inviting me, and please have a good day.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Peter, and everyone from the South Asia team and the journalist. Thank you.
Do please sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.